CSS Tutorial. Chapter 1 Introduction and How-To. CSS is a style sheet language that describes the presentation of an HTML, or XML, document. CSS describes how elements must be rendered on screen, on paper, or in other media. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen, paper, or in other media. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. External style sheets are stored in CSS files. CSS is used to define styles for your web pages, including the design, layout and variations in display for different devices and screen sizes. There are 3 ways of inserting a style sheet: external style sheet, internal style sheet, inline style. With an external style sheet, you can change the look of an entire website by changing just one file. An external style sheet can be written in any text editor. The file should not contain any HTML tags. The style sheet file must be saved with a CSS extension. Note: do not put a space between the property value and the unit, such as margin left 20 pixels. The correct way is margin left 20 pixels. Each page must include a reference to the external style sheet file inside the link element. The link element goes inside the head section. Then save with a file extension HTML. Here is an example of external style sheet. An internal style sheet may be used if one single page has a unique style. Internal styles are defined within the style element, inside the head section of an HTML page. Here is an example of an internal style sheet. An inline style may be used to apply a unique style for a single element. To use inline styles, add the style attribute to the relevant element. The style attribute can contain any CSS property. Note: an inline style loses many of the advantages of a style sheet by mixing content with presentation. Use this method sparingly. The example below shows how to change the color and the left margin of an H1 element. Here is an example of an inline style sheet. If some properties have been defined for the same selector element in different style sheets, the value from the last read style sheet will be used. Assume that an external style sheet has the following style for the H1 element. Then, assume that an internal style sheet also has the following style for the H1 element. If the internal style is defined after the link to the external style sheet, the H1 greater than elements will be yellow. However, if the internal style is defined before the link to the external style sheet, the H1 greater than elements will be maroon.